fallacies of pretentious intellectualism is to try to know someone more than they know themselves. There's no way I know Fandalak more than he knows himself. And so for Fandalak to try to know me and to say things about me more than I know myself, when I'm right here, that's pretentious intellectualism. So let me correct you, Fandalak. You all need to stop doing this when you use public airspaces. What was the NDC? The NDC was an aspiration to bring up weak opposition political parties under one umbrella to contest the 2011 election. That was the idea. I agreed with the idea. Out of my sworn philosophical belief that, which I just said to you, that our country does not benefit from a mushrooming of political parties. What it must benefit from is the quality of political parties acting in some sort of unison and with some philosophical depth for the purpose of their existence. Most of the political parties exist only around elections, where it is, oh, Louis Brown is running. Then someone, yeah, I support Louis Brown. Or Louis Brown can he purchases a party. Where your party name? My party name, Redemption for Liberia Party. It's dead, it's dormant, it's wasteful, and then suddenly around election time, Louis Brown pay for it, pay maybe 3,000, 2,000, 5,000, and a party is created. That's not who I am, that's not what I do. I am the founding member of the National Patriotic Party. And if Fandala wants to be a bit intellectually honest, he will say that the NPP came to the platform that we have created, the National Democratic Coalition. What is he talking about? Okay, so what? No, wait. Let me finish this point. It's this kinds of deliberate deception that goes out into the public space. No, you give him chance to speak. So say, have patience. You want more time? I'll say, I give you more time. Like your own studio here. So
we have more issues to talk about.
Yes, but what we must then we should not allow people to poison.
No, he's also right to ask you though.
Yes, but you saw his long commentary.
Maybe he wanted to give you a background
and
of what he wanted to ask you.
His commentary with lies. And yeah, just simply ask me. So legacy, Fandalak, let me tell you
what would be your legacy.
Can you wait now? Have patience.
Go ahead.
So my legacy in terms of political parties, the things we call political parties in our country, my legacy is that I always put the interest of my country above the interest of a political party. That is the legacy somebody in the Fandalak must learn from. When we blindly follow individuals, when we blindly follow the interests of political parties, especially at the behest of our nation, especially at, then we end up with something like what we currently have, where many knew, including me, that this was not the best option for our country. And yet, we took it. And we ended up where we have ended up. That is not patriotism. Now, one of the things I hope young people like Fandalak and others will learn is that loyalty first must be to country.
Not to men.
Not to men and not to political parties. For that, I gotta wait more now. You asked me about my legacy. And that is the legacy I'm hoping to teach people like Fandalak and Sekou. What we must try to do in our country is look to the best interests of your country. When you say that national allegiance, when you sing your national anthem, it is about a commitment, a patriotic duty to country, not a party discipline. If my party produces an unqualified person, it becomes my duty as a partisan. I sacrificed my country for a party. I will never do that. That is the
Okay,
legacy.
so let's
Fandela, you need to
okay,
learn.
let's move. Fandela, let's move to something. We have too many things to raise. We have too many things, Fandela. Let's move to this. We have too many things to talk about. Let's talk about your upcoming rally. Why do you think Liberians should come up on December 17th? When you have this, the country, things are moving the way things are moving. Like you, I've heard you on many occasions. You think that things are not readily, taking place in the country, and you think the ANC could be having the best solution to solve the problems in this country. And you calling on Liberians to come up on the 17th. You want to tell us more about that?
You keep going back to party.
No, but no matter what you do, ANC will be there.
The CPP, as is currently constituted, comprises the ANC and the Liberty Party. I am not a member of either party. I see the best person for president to lead us out of this difficult situation our country is in is Mr. Alexander Cummings. And so, like Mr. Whistler, like Mr. McIntosh, none of us have left our political party, and many others. We have come to assist the person we see as the best candidate, the best person to be president here, irrespective of where he may be in polls, irrespective of where his numbers were in 2017. That's patriotism. That's faith. That's belief. We are not doing it because it's easy for him to win. We're not doing it because his numbers were good in 2017. We're doing it because we are convinced and convicted that the difficulty in Liberia, this is the guy to help us. It comes with the pedigree, it comes with the leadership experience, and his life story is one that many Liberians should look to emulate. It's a better example that he can rise from point 4 and what the other place name where we have the Pupu factory.
Where?
Fiama. That he can go to demonstration school. That he can go to CWA. And rise from there. That his mother can sell Doka Flair and his father can be a teacher who converted to a priest.
When you to look at the story of Mr. Cummings and President Weah, most of the people will want to take the story of President Weah because his story sounds much more, interesting than Mr. Cummings.
I don't worry about interesting.
No, you want to give his story based on that why people should.
No, I'm saying to you that a Liberian like you, who grew up from Point 4, who grew up in Fiama, who grew up in Camp Johnson Road, Jala compound, and went to demonstration. This is not a guy that grew up in the States. Grew up right here. Went to
like
school
the same
right
with
here.
the president, your best friend.
But it's about performance ultimately. What we're judging the president for is not where he came from. Nobody condemning the president because he grew up in Gibraltar or anywhere else. What we're saying basically is his performance has been dismal. I mean, I was coming here today and somebody sent me a text to say a number of his security EPS officers abandoned him, I think in Europe or in America. I don't know how true it is, by the way. But Jesus. Not one, not two, if the text message I received is true, 8 or 9 officials of the president with close proximity to him have decided that it is enough. Even the president does not keep his dog.
And personally, I can say to you, I spoke with the EPS boss, and he said he's not even know.
Okay, I hope it's not true, because if it were true, it would be embarrassing.
So let's talk about the rally.
So I am saying that I am supporting someone who is not a member of my party. And for me, that's patriotic. That's citizenship duty. And not necessarily partisanship.
Why you want to give us reasons why Liberians should come up on 17?
Yes. The first thing is that we have said repeatedly December 17th, it's not for anyone who's having a good time. I know you will be there, but you will be there as a journalist probably. Because when I walk into this studio, I can see you're not one of those who invite people around here.
No, he will be in the country by that time.
He will be? That would be nice. I would be happy to see my PA again. But the point I'm making is this: too many people are suffering in this place. Just too many. I mean, I don't know about you, Sekou, but we're crisscrossing this country. We're talking to Liberians everywhere, including in the CDC, including in the security sector.
What the civilians are saying to you?
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. The disappointment, the frustration. You know, you will have greater expectation. You will have more expectation. You get disappointed the most by not meeting those expectations. So many are so disillusioned, so frustrated, so disappointed. Not just with the performance of the president, but the judgment of the president.
You said Liberians that are suffering.
Yeah.
Right?
This is
Are you suffering?
a chance.
Mr. Brown, are you suffering?
No, I'm not.
Then you are not to be part of it.
No, but I'm feeling the burden of those who are suffering. And I have a citizenship, patriotic, and constitutional duty placed upon me not to close my eyes. Because if...
The minute you are missing something...
Let me make this point. If Dr. Martin Luther King said, if you are healthy and everybody around you is sick, you're not healthy enough. You're not safe. If you can afford a meal and everybody around you hungry, something is wrong. Don't celebrate that you can afford a meal. If you have money and everybody around you broke, you better be careful about people. If you are happy and celebrating and everybody around you sad, you better be concerned and worry about those who cannot. Because ultimately, we are products of our environment. We live in a community. Liberia is a community. That I am not suffering is not a reason not to care for those who are suffering.
So, does that in a way means? Let me ask this question, please. Does that mean that the rally going to bring the solution you think that Liberians are in need of?
Here's what the rally will bring. After the rally, those who don't have food will not automatically have food.
What's the essence of it?
The rally is not...
or Mr. Cummins going to give people money?
You want me to answer now?
I'm asking
or you want to be fictitious?
No, not.
Then let me answer the question.
Listen, the reason why I'm asking this question is because it has been discussed as if to say, okay, maybe after the December 17, there will be no problems.
No. We'll still have President Weah. The country will still have too many problems.
Then why can't you wait for the 2023
leaderless.
elections? Why can't you wait for the 2023 elections? Where you will allow Liberians to go and vote?
Can I tell you why?
You want to tell me?
Can I tell you why?
You want to tell me?
Then you will not cut me off.
Go ahead.
Okay, good. So let me tell you why. Let me give you this example. Perhaps it will give you clarity. When you have a tire, and you just keep pumping it air and pressurizing it, pressurizing it, pressurizing it. If you're not careful, if you over pressurize it, it could burst in your face. And sometimes you pray God it don't burst on you when you're in, what we call no man land, where you can't even find a tire shop to fix it. No. This place is pressurized. When you talk to ordinary people, the pressure that's on families. Just a couple of weeks, if not days ago, at the place where I used to work, as a Ministry of Information. It was unheard of. People were there demonstrating. Some people were making $40 a month. And they came outside. Did the government hear them? I'm not sure. The woman who's selling hot dog flare and fish. The woman who's selling bitter ball and pepper. When she goes home every day and sees her son that she spent the most important time of her life, that she sacrificed to educate, out of what she's been able to make in her market table. And she sees her son who has graduated from college but can't find a job and going wayward, following friends now out of frustration and getting on drugs. And she cannot let it out. When the father comes home at the end of the day and stops to him and they get charged because he cannot face that reality in his home of coming home with nothing. And the next day, when a guy tells me his 6-year-old son and his friend left the home, they were looking for them, they live on the beach, and they went into the water, and the distraught mother managed to find them barely breathing, struggling to breathe, rushed them to the hospital. And because they did not go with money, that they had to call the father. The hospital said no oxygen and people playing around because money was not available. And that the first priority was to register them with money because they didn't have any children were there fighting to breathe. And the father who was out had to go to a money changer to credit the money. When he arrived at the hospital finally, the 2 kids were dead. When that guy has no chance to express it, and that mother has no chance to see it.
Mr. Brown, let me hold you there.
Let me finish.
No, you were finished.
Then
you are giving a picture as if to say, you worked in government and you served one of the major positions within government as the Minister of Information. Are you saying to Liberians during the Ellen Johnson-Sirleaf administration, some of the things you just mentioned, that people did not die because of these things?
This is the biggest problem.
No, it is not the problem.
But can I finish? You ask me how to listen. Why you don't listen to my answer?
Go ahead.
We can talk over each other.
You need to go ahead, and we need to ask you.
So, yes. So, one of the biggest problems of this government, they never take responsibility. So, okay, so let's go to J.J. Roberts to find out what, because so it happened under Ellie. So it's supposed to happen under We Are. Then it's supposed to happen under Cummings. Then Cummings' excuse is that it happened under We Are. Then We Are excuse is that it happened under Ellie. Then Ellie excuse is that it happened under Taylor. Then Taylor excuse is that it happened until we get to J.J. Roberts.
But you are standing yourself to say that this has never existed even during your administration.
Look, I don't know where you live, but the hard time that people suffering in this town, all across the country, by the way, all across the country, the things people living through and going through, son. I'm sorry to call you.
No, go ahead,
son.
no problem.
The things people living through and going through. We think.
Mr. Brown, you've not answered the question I asked you.
But I'm answering the question.
But you keep.
Then let's leave it to the audience if you think I've not answered it. Because part of the
I'm asking you.
But I need to. Guys, I can't talk across.
Go ahead.
I will listen to you, Fandalak, shortly. But what people need to do, this government needs to start, and some of you in the press need to help them start doing, is passing responsibility. The president today is President George Manneh Weah. He was not
history is important to all we do.
Yeah.
You accept that, right?
What is a history that's not important?
I'm asking you now. You said you narrated a very important